Right, let's try this for the second time, shall we? Right, my last one I came up with this idea of doing hashtag worth it, where basically at the end of the month I recommend you guys a whole bunch of stuff that I think is awesome for free. None of it sponsored, I just wanted to give free promotion to some things I thought you guys would like to enjoy. So the last one got immediately copyright striked and was completely blocked as well. Not even like, hey, this thing that you're actually making no money on, we're gonna copyright strike, but we'll still put an ad on it and we'll take the money. No, they just straight up blocked it, and this was BBC. BBC, why would you do me so dirty like this? I love you guys. However, yeah, like the time period when I went, look, it's free use, I used their clip without any audio, and I basically, like a tiny clip where I provide commentary where I'm basically recommending everybody go watch it. I'm giving them free promotion, and there was 100% within the copyright guidelines. There was no wrongdoing, and I got an email yesterday saying we've reviewed it, and yeah, BBC still want to hold that you violated their copyright agreement, and therefore we're still keeping that copyright strike. So number one, fuck you BBC. I'll take back my free promotion then, and I will, I still love you, but I'll never ever again recommend you for free then, so whatever. It's not my fault that you don't understand how YouTube and fair use works. So yeah, a little bit pissy about that, and a little bit nervous about ever putting any other clips, even within fair use, into stuff, because every time I've done this, it's always within fair use guidelines. I've read them back to front. I'm like a do-gooder. I would never do anything against the rules. And every time I've used clips, I've had like, and I, you know, list who actually owns it. I don't claim to own any of it, and it's always little tiny snippets and crediting the people who actually own it. And yeah, most of the time I'll get something from Warner Brothers going, hey, we own that Crazy Rich Asians trailer. I know, I was providing commentary on the book, and I used clips in the background just to break up, just from looking monotonous at my face to talk about your book. Like, it's utterly ridiculous. Like, this wasn't supposed to be a rant, this is still the hashtag worth it segment for February. However, like, obviously all the big YouTubers have been going, what the hell is going on with copyright strike? It's ridiculous, it's rampant, it's all the things that are wrong with YouTube. This is a huge one. And the fact is, it's affecting tiny little creators who don't even have their monetization switched on. I'm not making any money from this, I just do it because I love it and I want to share some cool budget travel things with you guys. And I'm getting copyright striked, and I was like, I haven't done anything, I'm not even making millions. It's utterly ridiculous. So yeah, just be aware that some of my content may be late or just disappear somewhere, and it's just because big companies don't understand how the internet works, and it's kind of ridiculous. You know, there's this huge disconnect between the people making the rules and how everybody else understands how it should work, and we're doing it legally, but still, so yeah, whatever. That being said, I'm going to cross my fingers and go ahead with it anyway, because I'm basically giving free promotion to some things I think you guys might enjoy. Starting with hashtag worth it for this February, books. This better not get striked. Sex Criminals! It is such an awesome graphic novel, guys, if you haven't heard of this. It's by Image Comics, who are probably my absolute favourite people. If you go to bookshops and you only see Marvel and DC, tell them to get some freaking Image Comics, because these guys are dope. And they produce like independent, slightly kookier, weird stuff. It's not always superhero things. This story is basically a girl who, when she has sex, can freeze time, and she meets through happenstance a guy who also has the same ability, and they decide to use it to rob banks. And it's hilarious and genius, and actually like weirdly very relatable. Not that I have this fantastic power, although how much work would I get done? Imagine all the books I would have written by then. Wow. But no, it's it's so good, like the early blossoming stages of relationships and things, the sort of the things that you probably would do if you discovered that you had like superpowers. There's no way that you'd go like, do you know what, I'm gonna fight crime, I'm gonna put myself out there. You'd be like, okay, how can I make my life better straight away? And they're doing it to save a library, and it's so good. And the best part about it is there's all these wonderful little hidden jokes in amongst the artwork, with signs saying funny things, and there's like this continuing double entendre sexy theme going through the whole thing. It's kind of ridiculous, but it understands that it's ridiculous. Anyway, it's just fantastic, and even if you're not into graphic novels and comic books, this is a fantastic one to get into because it's adult as hell. Like all of the best comic books I like aren't for kids at all, they're very adult. So yes, give it a read. TV! Ride with Norman Reedus is back for season 3. I started watching this show when it first came out, mostly because I'm needing some Reedus in my life. I kind of love him. I love The Walking Dead, and basically it's kind of like Motorcycle Diaries, which he even said in this season that was like one of the inspirations behind the whole show. But one of the wonderful things is it is kind of a travel show. They just travel to different locations. The first couple of seasons were mostly just through America, but they did go to other places, other countries and things. They went to Spain and stuff like that. This one is definitely way more. They come to England, yay, and they went to Scotland and like just all sorts of different places, and they kind of delve into the place. They meet different people and discover what makes the actual country or the location fantastic. It's just like a really fun sort of rompy travel show where, yeah, they ride on motorbikes to get to the next location, and whilst they're there they just explore, and it's got a real fantastic sense of adventure to it, which is one of the best reasons why I like that sort of travel show that's not super scripted and everything, we're gonna then do this big touristy thing. It does a lot of what I think good travel vloggers do, is find the little hidden gems that aren't in the guidebooks, and just this like showing you can have a fantastic time just meeting a local and hearing their crazy stories. It doesn't have to be like this huge expensive thing, and it's got just such a great spirit of the road trip, and especially when he has like guests on with he has a good rapport with like friends and co-stars and things. Next, I've only just finished it this morning, so I'm counting it as part of February because that's what the last couple of days I've just blown through The Umbrella Academy. Oh my god, this is so good. Don't let the poster fool you. I have no idea what marketing team created that poster because it makes it look like a fun little comedy about superpowers. It's not. Again, it's based on a graphic novel, and you look at the covers of the graphic novels, they are way more aligned with the tone of the actual story and the show. It is gritty, it is about very adult relationships and the trauma of having a dysfunctional family and upbringing, and the consequences of that as an adult and how you're trying to deal with that. The superpowers obviously are there, but they're more like in the kind of background. It's in a way it's similar to some of the really great X-Men runs where you're focusing on the human emotions behind the stuff, and it just happens that they have superpowers as well. But yeah, it's so good. There's like a monkey butler in it, just really randomly, a robot mum. It's really out there, but my god, it's so good. Obviously there's loads of hype about it online, but the hype is real, and if you get a chance to as well, you should 100% read the comics. I am going to and buying them all off eBay secondhand because it's so much cheaper, and yeah, I'm gonna get them all and just blow through them as quick as the show. Yeah, the show is dope. Movies! Okay, another Netflix gem. I watched the Fyre Festival. That was at the very start of February I watched that, and I haven't been able to stop looking up other bits of information since then. I did watch the Netflix one and the Hulu one. Gotta say, I do prefer the Netflix one. I think they just presented more information in a more succinct way, and it's less blaming the attendance as well. Like the Hulu one just really seemed to sort of blame millennials for the reason that this con man stole all their money, which I was kind of like, eh. Like, I know, yeah, there's a problem with our generation in that we crave fame and we want to be doing all this fabulous stuff, but I mean, doesn't everybody want to have a lovely, fantastic experience? So yeah, that was a little bit like patronizing, I found, in some ways, and I thought the Netflix one just sort of presented it how it was. They also delved into the actual local people who were really affected by this whole scheme, and just sort of looked at the consequences and the fallout, not just what happened. And then afterwards I was just like, oh, I want more of that sort of thing, so I just watched like a whole bunch of other mini documentaries on YouTube. Really, really good. I would recommend watching both of them, however I'd start with the Netflix one. The other movie that I watched that I actually really wasn't expecting to like this much is Alita. I thought the trailer looked rad as hell, and anticipated that, like most trailers that I have seen lately, that the trailer would be better than the movie, and this one broke my expectations. I actually really enjoyed it. I haven't watched the anime yet. I know that's not I'm gonna get hate for this, but I will watch the anime. But I kind of liked going into it pure, like I didn't know what was gonna happen. At the end of the day, the story is like so, you bump along, it's quite nice. It kind of loses track of what it is and tries to become a weird little teen romance at some point, and I was just like, forget that bit, let's go back to this. But it is 100% worth watching just for the action scenes. Oh my god, like I saw this just flat, I didn't see it 3D because I find sometimes 3D can make me go a little bit crazy and I'm out with a migraine. I don't know, it's something to do with my weird eyes. But yeah, this is beautifully shot. The CGI is near flawless. Like, I didn't see any issues with it. Like, it seamlessly went in, and the creations and everything, it was like being back in like Blade Runner and Altered Carbon. Just from the visual aspect of it is gorgeous, and like very immersive. I really enjoyed it. The experiences that I will recommend this February, I finally got to go to the Electric Woods. If you guys are based on the Isle of Wight, or you are at some point planning to come to the Isle of Wight, 100% visit the Electric Woods at Robin Hill. They have all different nights. I went to the Chinese New Year celebration, Spirit of the Orient. That was only for like a short couple of weeks period, but they do have a Diwali night as well. They have like a whole bunch of different ones. They just have like the light show all the time. But the effort that they'd gone into, I did say in my vlog, I'm not entirely sure if it was worth the money, especially the food sucked ass. Like, I love Chinese food, that was not Chinese food. However, that aside, the actual detail and the effort that had gone into creating this whole atmosphere was perfect, and it was just really good fun. It was freezing, don't get me wrong. Like, I when I was editing it, I was like, I can't put this amount of me complaining about my feet are cold in this. It's ridiculous. I sound like a whiny little bitch, but yeah, it was so cold. So if you do go, put like I had hiking socks on as well. Put like 4 pairs and more coats than you could ever wear, and like hats, gloves, everything. The other experience that I participated in this February was I started going to guided meditation and mindfulness at the WOW Centre, which again, it's based in the Isle of Wight, but lots of different towns have women's centres, and it's for free, and basically they run all these different programs by volunteers and things and organisations that just support women doing cool activities and stuff, and they kind of support each other, get to know each other. There was recently like a whole thing on survivors of sexual violence and sexual abuse, like counsel and stuff that was going on there. That was awesome. But yeah, the one that I really wanted to get into was the guided mindfulness and meditation. I already meditate twice a day. I do it through the Calm app, which again, highly recommend. Oh, added recommendation there. And that just really helps sort of slow me down, and like, it's one of the few things that has completely fixed my sleeping problems. I've never been able to sleep, and actually meditating right before I go to bed basically stops me from just panicking about the next day and just going into overdrive and trying to plan out the next 5 years of my life, which I will do as soon as it gets quiet. That's just what I'm thinking about, like the next thing. So meditation's been super helpful, and this one's a great way to get into it because it does feel like it's incredibly difficult to start, and especially if you're doing it without any guidance or whatever. Like I said, I have used the app, which is super helpful, but this was really nice because it's a woman basically live talking you through it, and it's an hour long. That's the longest meditation I've ever done. And yeah, you all sit in a circle, and it's all women, you're all there for the same reason. Nobody's judging you thinking, yeah, you silly hippie, you believe in this stuff. And yeah, it's just basically at the end of my day of work, I have like half an hour to kill in the shops, and then I just go to meditation, and like if I'm stressed out from work or whatever, I can just release it all and just feel way calmer. Now YouTube, hopefully this one's been a lot shorter than the last one. So in February I discovered something that has been absolutely fantastic. As you know, I have been reading basic economics, and that is a lot to get through. However, I've discovered a YouTube channel called The Financial Diet, and it's a group of dope-ass people who basically teach you how to be smart with your money. There's a whole blog and everything, but I love their videos because they are just like a short 6 to 10 minutes sort of one, talking about being open and honest and talking about money. And that is one of the things that 100% I think I've lacked growing up. Like I didn't, especially being English, we don't talk about money, we don't talk about finance, we don't get taught it in school, and it's super important, which is why I went out of my way to educate myself on the economy and things. And I shouldn't have to download a whole Audible book just to learn about how to be responsible with my own money, but that is the reality at the moment. So if you don't feel like you can sit down and have like a massive course on how to be resourceful and responsible with your cash, then watch The Financial Diet, because they are brilliant, and it's very accessible. They apply the money concepts to real life, and there's just full of like super helpful tips and breakdowns of how to make your money go further, how to first start investing, how to actually first look into saving for retirement or saving up for a big trip or something. They get guest stars on there, all sorts of things. But I'm literally watching like 2 a day now, going back through their archive footage. I think they're doing like a fantastic service, like a public service. Also, if you do go watch them and subscribe, let them know that I sent you there, because I want to be friends with them. And the last YouTube channel that I definitely want to recommend is Homemade Wanderlust. Basically Dixie has, that's her trail name, this girl has done 3 of the 3 main trails, the hiking trails. So the Appalachian Trail, the PCP, and the CTP. I get my abbreviations muddled up. Basically the 3 big ones where you just walk from like the desert to Canada, and like all other places. She has done it, and each time I think she takes like 6 months to just trek through these places. And she does do like the vlogs, daily vlogs of the trip, but then at the end she's compiled them into these wonderful documentaries that are like a couple of hours long. It's all free on YouTube. You can just watch her journey through each of these trials, and then she's done loads of like tips and product reviews and things on like tents and gear and stuff. She's recommended some socks that I'm going to 100% try, because I have a hole in every single sock I own and I can't darn anymore. But yeah, she's really great. She encounters bears along the way, and there's all these fabulous other characters who obviously are real people, and they'll get trail names, and you can just mark her progress as she goes along. And she'll wake up in the middle of like in the desert and it's snowed and like her water filter's frozen. It's a really great watch, and you're with her every step of the way. You feel her pain, you root for her when she makes little wins, and you worry for her when she's like climbing over a rock face and everything. yeah, like her vlogs and her like little mini documentaries, I cannot recommend enough. And yeah, I think that's a good one to end with. That is the end of February's edition of #WorthIt. Let's pray to the YouTube gods that this doesn't get copyright dinged, but who knows? I'm gonna have to start some sort of Patreon, aren't I? Because god damn it. I do hope that this one was a little bit shorter and a bit more succinct. Like I say, I'm still kind of trying out this new little segment and format, but I think I'm still going to do it because I'm enjoying just showing you guys some stuff that hopefully will add something to your life. And yeah, I will be back very soon with another video explaining what it is I'm doing, because I've got a big trip coming up. All of last year I didn't do any massive trips apart from Disneyland because I was saving up for this one. It's the big one, and I can't wait to tell you guys about it. Alright. Thank you so much for liking, commenting and subscribing. If you get the itch, ring that bell just so that you know when I actually have stuff up. And I will see you in the world. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye!